Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. I hope you're all doing well today. I know I sure am. Probably, I'll bet. Anyways, without further ado, I'm so excited to get started. Now, for those of you who are new here, I always make sure to include timestamps in the description below, including when the interview starts. With that being said, today I'm going to be interviewing Tipster's ex-moderator, known as Nico Nerd. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nico Nerd has, I think, debated Queeman, has been in a lot of controversy, etc. One of the main controversies that has involved this person is I guess her leak or I think they use any and all pronouns. Yeah, they use any and all pronouns. Yeah, so they leaked Tipster's salary, I believe. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to be showing that. I think that that's fairly straightforward. Anyways, they're ready. I'm ready. So, without further ado, I'm going to welcome everybody in chat, and then we'll get started. I keep clapping. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's an interesting repeated behavior. Hold on, I just need to adjust this slightly. Oop, that's too. Nope. Oh, sorry. I had to readjust it because of algorithm maxing streams. With that being said, hello, your mom's favorite, Jeff the Killer, Tatum is Beastly, James Knox Polk, and PP Girl 420, as well as John Holland. I hope you're all doing well. Smash like, especially considering the fact that these streams don't necessarily do the best algorithmically, so it is what it is. With that being said, we're gonna go over to, wait, not Streamlabs, Discord. All right, we're gonna open Discord, and we're gonna hope for the best. You're cute, lol. Why, thank you. So, I guess the structure of this interview is gonna be very off the cuff, I guess you could say. I guess interviews generally are sort of off the cuff. I have a general idea of what the interview is gonna consist of. So does Nico Nerd. I've DM'd them. They're actually quite friendly behind the scenes. So with that being said, I'm gonna start a call, and we'll see where this goes. Also, hello, Kelly Liu and Vent for Me. I hope you're doing well. As well as Jeff the... Oh, wait, I think I already said hello to Jeff the Killer. All right, we're starting the call. Actually, wait, I need to set up my audio. Hold on. Input device, mic test. Output device, this one. Okay, hello. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hello. Hold on, just... keep talking, just so I can adjust the audio settings and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, it sounds about right. Chat, let me know if the audio isn't level. It looks fine to me. Alright, so, hold on, let me go close my blinds. It's getting dark outside. Alright. Alright, we'll start the interview in 3, 2, 1. Alright. Hello, this is... Oh wait, this is... I don't know how do I start an interview? Alright, we're gonna try our best here. Okay. Chat, this is Nico Nerd. Would you like to introduce yourself? I don't know.
Let me introduce myself? Yes,
well, they already know who I am. So yes, you. I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm kind of a new face due to the controversies, so I don't know what else to put in.
Right. So, I guess, from your perspective, would you be willing to give a brief summary of the controversy, what went down, etc., just from your perspective? Nothing too fancy, just a brief summary.
In terms of, like, the one about the teenager?
No, we'll do that one next. But just sort of
gotcha.
What got you in the spotlight, the whole tipster thing, etc.
Oh, well, yeah, seems like when I'd made a certain video on Tipster exposing his income, that it got a little bit more attention than I anticipated. So yeah, it exploded in a way that I didn't expect.
Yeah,
And I
you
didn't
didn't
really go
expect.
over it properly. I think I overshared for sure. And of course, I
Yeah,
wouldn't have done that if I was able to review it. And
correct.
it just went too quickly.
So what I'm hearing, what I'm gathering from this is that the entire situation was something where you weren't really thinking about it. You perhaps had like a habit or something of, oh, I uploaded a video, time for me to put it in the self promo section of every single Discord. Because I know I do that sometimes, where it's like, oh, I made a video, I uploaded it, I'm gonna put it everywhere, right? And you just sort of expect it to get like the I don't know how many views you normally get. I expect it to get like whatever, the regular 1 to 3K views, you know. So I sort of understand, like, you didn't expect to get as much attention as you did. You expected to get some attention, but not as much as you did, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And it turned out that it just usually when I share it into self promo channels, it doesn't really
yeah, you
get
just get like a
past
few
a
new
certain
viewers
point.
maybe, right?
Yeah, but I think because it was such a hot topic and it just went a little further than I expected, for
Correct.
sure.
A lot of people have been trying to shit on you, say that you're dishonest for this specific point. Um, I mean, the way you've framed it isn't necessarily the best, but I do believe you in the sense that, yeah, if you don't really know what you're doing and you've never really been in the spotlight before, you don't really expect your channel to blow up. There's a part of you that wants it to, sure, but once you're actually in the spotlight, it feels very different to how you would expect it. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, and of course I haven't been around for a while, so I didn't know how big this controversy would get, to be
Oh,
fair.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
Like I figured they were too focused on Tipster's lolicon argument rather than that.
I guess, but
Honestly.
they're gonna watch anything tipster related, you know? I mean, all of
Yeah,
the
at this point,
lolicon
you're right.
arguments are a little bit old. It's drying up. They had to find new
Uh-huh.
material. Um, I guess I can sort of empathize with you in that regard. I remember my first big controversy was like around the time I think it was like the Cheeto stuff, where it's like, okay, I left a bunch of like edgy comments and replies, and long story short, a Cheeto made a video about me. I wasn't expecting that. Now for me, I thought the whole thing was entertaining, right? I'm not most people, and I'm pretty sure that it was a Cheeto fans that mass flagged my channel, which got it demonetized. So, not doing that again. So I understand there's always unintended ramifications, but anyways, with that being said, I want to move on to the next question which is what, and I think you've covered this to an extent, but just briefly for my audience members who aren't aware, sort of what sort of kicked off the whole falling out between you and Tipster.
What kicked it off? I'm not really sure in particular, because what happened was there was different conversations back and forth during my following on him, and it went on for a couple of months. He demoted me after some other situations, but when I was like calling him out for mocking Asmongold on like his hoarding issue, I didn't feel comfortable with that, especially when he's supposed to be like against all sorts of transphobia and all that. And especially like it was hypocritical when he's supporting like Keffels and this anti-drug addiction issue, like trying to be supportive of that. It just seemed hypocritical to go on ableism mode when he's against all these other
So
things he claims.
So I'm going to push back a little bit here. All right. This is the first part where I'm going to flat out disagree with you. Um, I don't really think it was a big deal for him to make fun of Asmongold. I don't give a shit. I would do the same thing, to be honest. I would make fun of
that's fair, but my issue
Yeah.
was he didn't specify a specific issue that he had in terms of why he demodded me and then banned. Like,
Right,
apparently it's a thing
but
he does. It's a
you
pattern of
specified that you had an issue with him making fun of Asmongold, and I'm disagreeing with you. I just don't see how there's like an issue. I don't see how it's ableism to make fun of a lazy millionaire who can't even be fucked to buy a maid. The dude has a shit ton of money. Why can't he just buy a maid? Like,
But
it is his fault.
The issue was it is hypocritical from what I could see. Anyways, my argument with him wasn't
wait, what's the contradiction? What's the contradiction?
That he was against any type of issues against, mocking mental illness and that. That's as far as I understood.
Hold on, it's not mocking like a mental illness or like a disability. Asmongold is a millionaire, right? It'd be one thing if, for instance, he was broke and had a really messy house. That would be understandable. The dude is filthy rich. He can just hire somebody to clean up the house, and I think it's fair to make fun of rich people.
I'm just giving like an example, and that's fine to have that argument.
I think, and the reason I'm pushing back on this so hard,
he just does not.
The reason I'm pushing back on this so hard is when we're dealing with Tipster, right? His main detractors are commentary people, right? So you don't want to frame it through the lens of Tipster is being ableist when he's in that situation. I would argue he's really not. I don't see it that way, right? And I'm a leftist, right? So commentary people are gonna hear that, right? And they're gonna think, oh, this person's insane, right? That's what they're gonna think, right? You have to keep in mind that if you make something Tipster related, commentary people probably will see it at some point, right? You have to, I guess you have to like pick and choose.
Well, I understand that, but my issue was there was other, circumstances that came up that I don't know where in specific. He just seemed to demonize me without any explanation or anything. Like, he seems to do this to a lot of people.
So was him demodding you the main reason, or was it just like the final straw that broke the camel's back?
I don't know, because like I didn't get any specification. He never said anything during the whole time I was moderator. If he had any issue, apparently he does this thing to a lot of mods that he appoints in his server. And I mean, I was only there for like a month or so.
I mean, that's a lot longer than me. I was in there for 3 minutes and got banned. So you lasted a lot longer than me. Dude, I got banned from Tipster's server because he said something like Alec Gunter is here and is a friend of the channel, and I replied to it with, and I am Femyoz and I am here to debate you, or some shit like that. And then he fucking banned me. Like, in, 5 seconds after I sent that. Like, an obvious shitpost. Like, I don't know. I think that Tipster is overly sensitive. I think that's one of his main issues. That and defending Lolicon, obviously. I also... And I know this to be the case for Keffels more so than Tipster, but I'm certain that they both do this to an extent. Also, thank you, Remy, for the $1. Hello, my favorite bottom streamer. Are we sitting on the haters or algorithm maxing today? We're not algorithm maxing today. We're just doing a fun little stream. Sorry. Let's see here. Where were we? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. God damn it.
Where we were being banned for no reason by Tipster, and Keffels does the same?
Yeah, so... They have a tendency to have terrible communication. A little while ago, before I had talked shit about Tipster and Keffels, obviously, Keffels had reached out to me and invited her to her private Discord server with exclusively her and other content creators. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is a great opportunity. You know, I had a fairly positive opinion of Keffals at the time. But as soon as I get into the smallest amount of controversy, you better believe that I was instantly removed from the server. I DM'd Keffals asking why. She just ghosted me. She just didn't say shit. They have a tendency to do this. I actually reached out to Tipster as well, because he was also in the server. And he basically gave me like his typical Keffals defense spiel. Oh, you know, like, just, you get the point, right? Yeah.
I'll give you some more recent info if you'd like to hear that part of it.
Go on.
It turns out, if he sees anybody in another server that he doesn't like to be in there, he will go and tackle the admin to get them banned. So I saw this from another moderator who approached me, and I joined that Rainbow Passage server that was retweeted. Yeah. And somebody approached me with some information that apparently Tipster heckled the admin to get me banned. And then I wondered where the server went, because I also quit a few servers. So I wasn't sure if I was banned or just accidentally quit it, but apparently, yeah, I was banned. Because of him.
Oh, shit.
And he did this to the trans girl that I mentioned before that was in Keffals' server.
Do you have any screenshots that this is the case? Because I would want to see screenshots or something, some sort of evidence, right? I believe you, but I don't. But a lot of you have to keep in mind, like a lot of commentary people are potentially going to see this because it's Tipster related. Oh, we got some screenshots. All right, we're gonna open this in browser. All right, so let's see here.
The video that they shared me, but I don't know if they censored their names. So.
All right, hold on. We're gonna read these out loud, okay? All right. So their name is crossed off. So it's a guy named Animal J Smith. Oh my god, it all goes back to Animal J Smith, dude. We love Animal J Smith over here, dude. He's my favorite. He's my favorite pup play fetishist connoisseur. Anyways, Jesus Christ. He's a part of the Rainbow Passage. And then Nico Nerd responds with, "Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I'm in the Rainbow Passage Discord. Surprisingly, there isn't many people in the Discord." And then Blank says, "I'm currently in the server. It says you were banned." Nico Nerd says Tipster isn't there. To be honest, I'm not surprised. He just if he just retweeted that Rainbow Passage tweet to have the appearance of being good. And then Blank says he was in the server. He just left after you joined. And then Nico Nerd says, "Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know why. I got banned from it, lol." And then Blank says, and in the audit logs, show his messages were deleted. And then Nico Nerd responds with, "He probably harassed the admin to ban me. I didn't see him. Yeah, huh? That's funny since Rainbow Passage just unfollowed him." Blank responded with, "They only did that due to his request." And then Nico Nerd says, "I don't know. I am in another server for Rainbow Passage, so I am confused." And then Blank says, "Another server? Can you invite me by chance?" And then Nico says, "Amazing. He did that to another trans teen in Keffals' server." Damn. Dude, he really doesn't want anyone to find out about the Rainbow Passage stuff. Dude,
I don't think it's just that, but yeah. Apparently,
I don't know. The Rainbow Passage.
How he was in there.
He doesn't want you to know about the Animal J Smith lore. Oh shit, we've got
Why did he leave right after I joined? He was like scared.
Oh my god. Okay, we've got the audit logs. Holy shit. So we've got Tipster leaving the server here.
Yep.
Yo, it's in the Rainbow the Rainbow Passage community.
Yep. They're gonna bring up his name. His profile.
Oh my god. That's wild. That is actually wild.
Server. Yeah.
Guys, he was wow, what a crazy coincidence. he left the server right after there was a controversy
Yes.
surrounding his best friend, Animal J. Smith, the ultimate connoisseur of puppy play. Oh, God. Oh,
He just
God.
happened to leave when I was there.
Yeah.
Like, what were you doing in there, buddy?
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. So, I want to, I guess the most controversial thing has to be, can you take a guess as to what it is?
Yeah, about that teenager, right?
Yeah. So the 16-year-old, the one that was transgender, that you offered a place to stay. What is your perspective on that?
Right. The scenario is that she was about to get kicked out because she was failing her grades. There was a constant threat of that. So she was already in panic about not being able to find anybody to get help in her area, and she was telling us that she didn't want to call. So to de-escalate, I was really like trying to calm her down. Like, of course, I wasn't able to explain the full story in my video, and
Right.
I don't know, it just went on a tangent. Or like,
So,
yeah, if I mentioned that, I can understand people being worried. Like, what? Like, it
yeah.
doesn't make sense without the full
So,
story.
hold on, let me get this. So she was literally about to get it kicked out on the streets, is what you're saying. Like, there was like a decent chance of that. And like, if it was the case
Yeah,
that she were to literally be on the streets and couldn't find anywhere to stay, that you would offer her a place to stay temporarily, correct?
right. And I offered her the suicide hotline and other options. She was just against that because she was afraid of somebody um calling the police on her and sending, cops to her place to take her. And she was really, really like resistant to getting in contact with anyone. The problem with suicide with people online is that they're usually very isolated.
Right.
So that was a concern because she was obviously left alone from her parents at all being there or anybody from her family for like months to years on end.
So
Like,
you
this is
were
not good.
so you were trying to like get her to reach out to actual like mental health professionals then. Um
Oh yeah.
so
And there was like her city hall in her area had those services in their webpage. So I showed her to that if she couldn't find anything through that, then she can take that last resort option, you know.
yeah, that's the thing is I've heard people basically equating this to grooming, but what seems to be the case, based on what you've told me at least, based on what I've heard from watching content about the situation, is that this person was about to go fucking homeless, right? So there's two options here. One of them
Yeah.
is she ends up on the streets, right? The other one is she ends up in your house, right? So this kind of destroys the whole argument of, well, you see, this would be a bad place to stay because it's messy. It's like, okay, it wouldn't be the best place to stay, but it's better than living on the streets, right? It's just a temporary place
Also,
to stay until she can find somewhere better, right? Is that I
well,
feel
and I was
like
going to
that's what's
offer
happening.
her, I was going to connect her with some volunteers who were at, a shelter I was at,
Okay.
help relocate her because they do that as well.
Okay.
Like, I have resources on hand. There's also, like, to clarify, yeah, years on end, her parents basically worked way overseas. So even if there was something that happened, there was no way the school could get in contact with them because they'd lie about their phone number and contact too. Like,
Interesting.
you could call their home phone, yeah, and there wouldn't be like anybody to really answer, but their kid.
Interesting. So
And it wasn't
there.
just me in the chat. There was another moderator that was in there with me that was in
Okay.
Tipster's server.
Okay. And would they be able to vouch for them? Would they be able to vouch for them, sorry, vouch for
I
you, vouch for the situation,
I have
or
no idea. I really doubt it
okay,
because they did a 180 and just left the chat
okay,
and decided to be Tipster's goth mummy.
wonderful.
She didn't want to have anything to do with us at that point and acted like that she wasn't even a part of it.
Oh wow, that's so. Somebody in my chat wants to know, how can they kick them out from overseas? They can just go to the police or CPS. This makes no sense.
Yeah, so what happened was they do have relatives there, sort of, but her relatives, her siblings or, whatever, are like very abusive. They could
Okay.
probably come over just to kick her out at any time or cut her off the money they were sending her monthly.
Okay, so they
And
were sending
sure,
her
they could basically
money,
stop paying at the apartment she was in. That was the thing. There was a
sure.
list of problems.
But why didn't you but I guess the main question is why didn't you just call CPS? Because this seems like a very uh obvious case of neglect and abuse.
What I didn't want to do was frighten her because she was afraid of them getting in contact with her parents, and she knew her parents would make up something and abuse her again. So that for sure she felt like would be worse. Now, what I said was, if you know there
So
really
she
wasn't
felt
any
like it
good
would be
situation.
worse. Um but wouldn't it be okay if they're constantly
Well,
overseas?
the
Wouldn't that be
CPS the
easy to
CPS
prove?
services for what?
Wouldn't it be easy for her to prove to CPS that, oh well, yeah, they're literally not even in this fucking country, right? For this period of time, they're clearly neglecting me. Wouldn't that be like an
I'm
easy
really
case to
not sure
prove?
what the details were, other than the CPS in her area was known to throw people into institutions and forcibly arrest them for suicide.
Okay,
That's as much as
is that
she knew about them.
okay?
Yeah, there
What
was
country is this?
full mismatch in Canada.
In Canada. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what the
She
laws
was
are like over there.
obviously like in distress. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Um,
I offered it as a way to give her an option because I mean, if she was going to run away for whatever reason or end up on the street, and
I
I
mean,
said
did
she has
you
anywhere to run to.
I guess I just want to ask, did you research CPS specifically from her area to see like, okay, is this her being irrationally fearful, or is it the case that, okay, it seems to be like there's like a legitimate concern here, I guess, on her end, because a lot of people
Yeah,
are
so
terrified of because you also mentioned that she was scared of calling the suicide hotline for a similar reason, right?
yes. So there was a
So
CPS. She gave me the name of the place, and it turned out that the reviews for that place were extremely low, like 1 star. It was really not good.
okay, would you be willing to specifically link me, and I won't show it on stream, but would you be comfortable sharing that with me? If not, I totally
Yeah,
understand.
I don't have it on hand at the moment.
Okay.
Uh,
Um,
but yeah, we
it's
looked. I
okay.
remember we looked into everything. It's just it's been a while, so I don't have the old chat open
All right. Well,
because that was a group chat. But
if it
yeah,
gets
like
sent to me, I will go back to this once it's a VOD, and I will put it in the descriptions and in a pinned comment. Like as in
mhm,
what not like a link to it obviously, but as in like whether or not like this is what it was, right?
mhm.
So,
I'm
um,
just saying we offered a lot of solutions in terms of what we could do for her. So
okay.
it was, obviously we were distressed and worried about her too.
Right.
But
I
I don't
I
know
get that.
what the other mod's deal is right now.
I think, and here's my interpretation of it. I think that you were, let's be real, a little bit irresponsible with this, right? I think that your
Sure.
heart was in the right place. I think that you saw that somebody was hurting, that this 16-year-old trans girl was in this horrible situation, and you wanted to help out in the way that you knew best, right? I can understand that. I just think it would have been more responsible to bring it to some sort of authority. Now, if it's the case that CPS in her area is only 1 star and it has like a horrible reputation, look up CPS anywhere. It will have the same reviews. CPS ruins people's lives all the time. The people that are on the other end of the system aren't going to leave a 5-star review and say, thanks for taking my kids. Ooh, that's a good point.
That, but
that's a good point. Okay, so okay. So
I don't think that's the reviews, though. Honestly,
so I see that. Okay, it seems to be the case that it's 1 star, but there's only 7 reviews. How do you know that those aren't angry, abusive parents leaving the reviews?
they probably are. Honestly,
Right, so we wouldn't want to use this review system to determine whether or not it would negatively affect the abuse victim. If it's the case that all 7 of the people that rated it 1 star were the abusers, then obviously that's not a very good metric to use. And there's only 7 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. That was
can you at least acknowledge
obviously there was some concerns raised.
Yeah, can you at least acknowledge that maybe you were a little bit irresponsible?
Sure.
Okay.
Like there's plenty of things I could have done better. It was just what I came up with, and obviously
It was what you came up with.
It worked out for the better because she did find a support worker, thankfully.
Right.
So
it did work out better anyways. So
check around.
The thing is, I think that, look, I don't think that you're some evil groomer pedophile, right? Like, I think that people that are painting that as the narrative are fucking deranged. I don't think that you were trying to groom anybody. I don't think that you were, whatever. I don't think you were doing any of that. I think you saw the potential for somebody to be on the streets. A 16-year-old trans girl was terrified of literally getting kicked out of her own house. And you saw a dichotomy of, okay, well, either she's on the streets or I give her a place to stay. And you genuinely thought that dichotomy existed to some extent. You didn't want her to get institutionalized, right? And that was your thought process. Am I correct in my assessment here? Or am I off the mark a little bit?
Yes, it was a valid concern since I didn't know the full information about what her services were like in her area specifically.
Right.
But there is always concern of that, especially when it's like such an area, you know?
Right. Well, and it's also worth noting that, like, if she's panicking or whatever, if it's the case that, like, okay, she's about to get thrown out of her own house, which means she's most likely going to lose access to the internet, etc., right? There'd be no Wi-Fi that she'd be able to connect to. I understand that there'd be, like, some sense of urgency where it's like, okay, I'll let you have this place to stay while we figure out a better solution, right? So I get that. I just think you didn't go about it the best way.
It's just mainly because I know a lot of resources in my area. I didn't know the resources in her area, so that was kind of my thinking. Sure, it wasn't probably the best idea, but I didn't have any other idea of what could be possible over there.
So somebody in chat says, child neglect laws in Canada. Physical or emotional neglect happens when a parent or other family member responsible for a child doesn't give that child the basic things they need to keep them safe and healthy. If the child were to be abused and abandoned in this context, there is major consequences for any involved parties. The basic things they need to keep them safe and healthy. Interesting.
Yeah, there's like a list of that specified and outlined in those laws.
Okay.
But also, I guess it depends because there is outreach programs as well. So it was just a concern that I didn't know the outreach programs in her area. I could have looked into it though. That's another option.
Okay. Yeah, I would have looked into it, right? Like, before you do something as drastic as offering them your place to stay, right? Like,
Fair.
like
And
I,
that's kind of what we
I,
were going at, like,
yeah,
speak with a teacher, anything, you know.
yeah. I don't
But
think that you had bad
we were
intentions, but
obviously distressed for her, as well as she
right,
was distressed. So
right.
yeah.
Like I would be lying if I said that I had, like right off the bat, a better solution. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do either, right? Like
Hmm.
if someone came to me and told me what she told you, like, hey, by the way, I'm about to get fucking kicked out of my own house. I've been constantly abused and neglected, and now they're gonna like throw me out onto the
Yeah.
streets. It's like I understand that your natural instinct in that situation is gonna be, well, I have a place to stay, so here you go, right?
Hmm.
We live nearby,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Like
I get that.
I was under as much stress as she was because I was like concerned for such a person.
Well, you wouldn't be under
No,
as much stress as she was,
like obviously
right?
not as much. No, I'm not trying to say that, but
Right.
like I empathize to that level, and I guess that like
Yeah,
didn't
you
help
were
my
under a lot
thinking.
of stress. No, I get that. I get that. You felt like you had to do
No,
something and you
I
didn't know what to do.
understand. I understand what people are thinking. Like, oh no, an adult inviting a young teen to their place. That's creepy. Like, yeah, I guess if
Yeah.
you think of it in that context, it doesn't sound good. Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, there's plenty of wackos out there. I think it's really messed to say that unless you have like more evidence. I
y-
understand really
I
isn't a whole
guess from
lot.
an outside perspective looking in, it looks like, okay, here's a random stranger from Discord
True.
that is trying to get a 16-year-old child that's extremely vulnerable to move in,
Hmm.
right? I don't think you had
True.
bad intentions, but from their perspective, that just looks awful, right? Like that's an awful look. Um so I
True.
think that optically you did something pretty fucked. I think that morally I see where you're coming from, if I'm going to be completely honest. I saw one of your, because you made a response video to Chud Logic, and um, I'm going to be straight up, you seemed genuine in it. That was one of the reasons I wanted to reach out to you. Uh, I don't think that you were ever malicious in terms of your intentions. I think that you did something incredibly stupid in terms of how it would impact you and make you look. I don't think that you were ever gonna harm. Uh, I don't think you were ever gonna harm somebody. I think you should have just looked into other options more before.
I think it was silly how I like brought it up, but again, like when I go, I think my problem is I need to have a better structure to speak on topics instead of just going off and not,
That could
and
be the
especially when I'm
case.
not explaining a full story either.
Well, I think part of it is the sheer gravity of the situation, right? The sheer gravity of everything that was happening, as well as the gravity of showing certain information from Tipster, right? Um, you're obviously not used to being in front of such a large audience, right? Um, so I get that, right? If the first time you gain notoriety is, look, I think you did something stupid but not unforgivable. As for the doxing thing, do you still stand by leaking Tipster's salary?
Oh no, I don't think I should have leaked that much information. I don't. I really, if I had time to sit down and review it, I probably would have cut that out for sure.
Right.
It was
Or just
dumb,
not
and I
include it
did
in
a
the
dumb
first
thing.
place? Yeah. And you
Yeah,
can see why that would be very concerning, right?
my point was there was some people from his server concerned with like where he stood on some issues. My concern was what the heck was he doing in his life if he was defending lolly porn as well as that.
I
So
mean, it
yeah,
does.
that was where I was trying to
I
bring it up, and I guess I overdid it. So yeah,
I mean, but I just don't
it
see
was a
why
silly
it was.
rationalization.
So I guess your logic is you were trying to prove a point by any means possible, correct?
Yeah, see, my pre-thought was I'm gonna bring up this situation where Like, the guy's defending Lolly while working at a high school. Like, that's fucked up. Like, why are you working around underage people and then defending lolly porn on your YouTube channel? That's messed up. And then I thought I gotta better provide some sort of proof that I found that type of information, and I guess I brought up the wrong information in that regard.
Okay. And when did
But
you
yeah, I wasn't
find
thinking.
out? When did you find out about the whole defending lolly thing with with Tipster and whatnot? When did you learn about that?
Bro, it was more recent when Lush Week leaked his folder, and like obviously that was way after I was banned. So it was
Okay.
just kind of wild to me
Okay, so
how
you
he
were
would like
banned after
deny
his.
the fact.
Okay. Okay, that actually makes sense then. So this happened
Yeah.
after you had been banned. Um,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I had no involvement with him during that.
Okay.
um,
Cuz for
yeah.
me that would be a potential bridge burner. I know it
Well, yeah,
definitely
well,
was
he
for
already burned the
Fembro.
bridge with me.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was the bridge burner for Fembro was the whole lolly shit. It's like Tipster
Well, yeah,
just
that did it
wouldn't
to
look
me.
into it.
And I think it's interesting because even Bo Blacks and that gave him an arm to be like, "Yo, I'll still give you the benefit of the doubt, even though you're saying all this messed up shit." And then now that he's come out with this fucked up defense and bullshit, it's like everybody's like, "Yo, no, we're not doing this anymore."
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I Yeah, after the Vosh thing, I just lost all faith in that side of the community. Um, I I don't know. It all feels so fake and manufactured. Like I don't feel welcome at all in Keffels or Tipster spaces, I guess. Because it's like I know
well,
that they hate
yeah,
me. I like firstly, I'm a little bit too much of an edgelord, which fair enough. I'm an asshole. I get it. The other thing is I'm willing to criticize them. They don't like that. Um,
they
so,
don't like a lot of people that criticize them. Apparently,
oh yeah, for sure. Um, I think that if I'm gonna be real,
and I think it's upsetting, you know.
I think that
Because you want these
I'm
people to speak on these issues, but then they're total degenerates, and it's just not the image people really want, you know?
I think that strategically, from like a purely nihilistic perspective, they made the right move when they sort of, I guess, kicked me out of their group or inner circle or whatever. Because I'm guessing that one of the things that they saw is A, I'm a potential optics disaster, and B, I will say whatever I genuinely think, right? Um, like it doesn't
Yeah.
fucking matter. Um, like how controversial it is. If it was the
Mhm.
case that, say for instance, I was known in their communities, right, and there became an audience overlap, right, and then I find out some shit about them, and then I expose them for it, right. That's gonna fuck them over big time, right. Um,
Yeah, true.
so I don't know. Either
Well,
way.
it's interesting you say that because 'cause isn't Keffels, like, a bit of an edgelord, but yet
She
then
said
she woke
retard one
schools?
time. Like that's
I guess.
she said retard and that she likes noodles. That like that's
I don't
not
know.
being I'm sorry, but that's not edgy,
True.
okay? Me making fun of
Well,
Islam
some
is
people
edgy.
consider it that. That's why yeah,
Like
I know.
I'm sorry, like that's like no, I would not consider that to be edgy. It's safe edgy.
True,
It's not really edgy. I'm actually
true.
willing to push
Yeah.
the boundaries a little bit. Um yeah, I think that and they know that. They know that about me. At least they do now. Keffels is an edgelord.
Mhm.
She is a scam artist. True. True.
That's the
She is a
problem
scam
is,
artist.
like, these, these leftist talking heads trying to support like trans issues. It's just like they come from a position where they just don't comprehend who they're really talking to. I don't know what's up with Keffels. She's just fucked up in the head though.
Yeah, I mean, she is a crackhead after all.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
doesn't help, of course.
Yeah, well, the thing about Keffals is and Tipster is they're not. Well, I guess Tipster is just. I'm just gonna say whatever Keffals says. Keffals is a disingenuous, sniveling, self-interested, lying sack of shit, right? Um,
Hmm.
I think
Tipster's
that
just a
Tipster's
huge
just a
simp.
cuck.
That's
Yeah,
what.
he's a
Yeah,
simp. He's a cuck. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I think that the thing about the thing about Keffals is I agree with most of her actual politics. I have a certain aesthetic that her audience is going to appreciate, etc. Right? So if I come out making a video exposing her, for instance,
Hmm.
her audience is going to be a lot more receptive to me saying it than hearing it from Willie Mack. They're gonna
Sure.
like when they hear a commentary bro like Willie Mack talk about her, they disregard it because it's like an annoying commentary bro, right? Even though Willie Mack is great, okay, he makes
Well, and
incredible
there's some
videos.
bias. Yeah,
I like Willie Mack. I think he's a good content creator.
true.
Anyhow, they're not gonna listen to it coming from him. Uh, if it's coming
Hmm.
from somebody like me, who's like, okay, I agree that like minors should have access to HRT, but the way she promoted it was extremely irresponsible, and she clearly didn't look into this, etc. And oh hey, isn't it interesting how the GoFundMe money that hey, maybe if I had more money at the time, I would have spent my hard-earned money on that. Isn't it crazy how it disappeared? When it comes from me, it's like, okay, I'm some weird cat girl like that's also trans femme. They can't
Yeah,
pull the transphobia card, right? Because I'm arguably just as left leaning, if not more left leaning than Keffels is. Ideologically speaking, that is. Um, I
right.
look fucking gayer than she
I mean,
does.
there's some people that go too far with the leftist stuff. But yeah,
It
for
depends.
sure.
It depends.
Hmm.
Either way, yeah, I feel like it would be well received from Keffel's audience. I feel like I'd be able to pull some people over. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Um, I guess in terms of on behalf of the pill hopping community, we do not recognize Keffels as one of us. For the record, my pills are just antidepressants, real. Me when
Yeah, no.
Keffels sends me illegal bathtub hormones. Parentheses, she's literally Walter Light. Walter Light if he tried the product. True. True.
Dude, she admitted to getting into pink cocaine or something.
Yeah,
Like, she's already like made that public.
dude. SK24 says, literally, they're bad for trying to help a minor who was almost homeless. IDK. I'm confused. What is problematic here? A person tries to do a nice thing and people cancel them for it. That was sort of how I interpreted the situation, to be completely honest. Like, I'll admit my bias here. Like, I interpreted it as you tried doing a nice thing. Maybe you didn't go about it the best way you could, but you did it. You did it the best way you knew how. Right? That's how
I
I see
mean,
it.
yeah.
Like, I think
And
that
I mean,
that
some new person that looks a little strange to people, that's going to be like easy bait for people. I
yeah.
realize. So, yeah, it's easy to someone that doesn't look conventionally attractive, this and that. But it's also
Yeah,
like, ooh, they were a tipster mod, and they're going all on that too.
yeah, they really like to hone in on the fact that you were a Discord moderator, right? Because then it's
Yeah,
like,
even
ooh,
though it's like,
Discord moderator,
yeah,
ooh, the 30-year-old Discord moderator is trying to get a minor to come over to their house. That's pretty suspect, bro. It's like that's how they frame it, and it's like, no,
and
this person
granted,
was about like this person was literally at risk of going on the streets, right? And I could
yeah, and
understand why you would
granted, there's a
be,
lot of creeps on like social media or anything. I'm
and I
not
could
dismissing
also
that from anyone,
like
you know.
right, and I could also understand why you would be hesitant to call CPS, right? You almost feel like it's not your place to do it, especially if they're concerned with that and don't want you to.
Hmm.
Like I know for me personally, um, I would feel really shitty about it. I would probably do it after enough research.
Yeah,
But I would like
I mean, like,
emotionally, I
isn't I
understand.
didn't know where she lived either. I didn't have her address or anything. So, like, where would I
Right.
send them? Didn't have that
Yeah.
much information. That's also the reason. I mean, sure, I could have looked into more, but that probably just would have scared her more, and that
Yeah.
was also a concern.
I
It
I
it
think that
it's
that's fair
it's
enough. Like
not the best
if
way
you
to
don't know
approach it,
where she like if you don't know where she
but
lives, like
still.
how ca like you don't know enough like a substantial amount of personal information. You just have like but you said that she lived in your area, right? But you don't know like the
Mm,
exact
no,
location.
not kinda. I mean, she doesn't live in my area, but she lives just, like, in another city, like, nearby,
Okay,
if
so
you get my
she
drift.
lives in a city
So, yeah.
nearby. So she disclosed the fact that she was in that city, but obviously she didn't give you like her fucking address or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So if
Like,
you were
I
to
only had
call
so much info.
So if you were to call the CPS in that area, you wouldn't have like an address or like a name to point to. It would just be like there's some
Mm.
kid on the internet. So I could understand then, like, yeah, how would you go about that phone call?
That's why I was afraid, like, if she got kicked out and I had no way of contacting her. The other thing is that I offered her my phone number so that she could text me if there was anything wrong if she was kicked out, 'cause then she would have been cut off from her internet and that. So that
Yeah,
was also she
yeah,
doesn't have to know where I am or anything either. It's just I gave her my number to text me so that if something happened, then she could tell me.
right. No,
It's
I think that
like I
that's
just
valid.
wanted to make sure
I
that
think
she
that that's
was
valid.
safe wherever she was. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's
Like, who
fair.
knows?
In that case, I guess if you don't know, like, if you don't have enough information like about like where like her whereabouts or whatever the fuck, which I guess I would hope that you wouldn't because obviously it's some person on the internet or whatever to confidently call CPS. I could understand being like, hey, if it ever gets to this point where you're like literally getting kicked out onto the streets, I'll offer you a place to stay. I think that that's actually fairly reasonable.
Mhm.
I
I
I
mean, even
honestly
even the other moderator that was there at the time was suggesting to call CPS, and it was just like we both understood that she was gonna get more scared and want to down like a bottle of pills or something. Like it was really bad.
is she
So we
suicidal or
didn't.
was she suicidal?
I believe she probably still might have the ideation. I'm not sure. I'm not one to
Okay.
speak on that.
Okay.
As
Okay.
far as I know, she was a person in crisis in a Discord chat, and me and
And
another
you didn't
Discord
want her
moderator
to
wanted to reach out.
hurt herself. That's fair.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I feel like that pretty much addresses all of the concerns I had about that situation. Um I know we talked a little bit about it in private. Just to see like if you could like send me screenshots verifying that this person um was going to go homeless. So um
Well, I sent you her side of it, so
yeah. So
as far as
we'll
that goes, she didn't wanna speak on it, and it might be re-traumatizing for her.
okay. That's
So,
valid.
yeah.
Yeah, you sent me
And at this point, she might have just been in a panic, and she wasn't thinking rationally about that, and she felt like she'd be kicked out. That's still valid enough, I feel, that if she was gonna get kicked out and that was a real concern, then, still there.
yeah.
But whatever the case is, she's found a support worker's phone as far as she told me. So as far as I'm concerned, she's probably already being taken out of that household. You
Okay.
know,
All right. I think
definitely,
that
definitely her struggle, and I hope she's doing better now. You know,
okay. All right.
that she
Well,
gets out of it.
I think that if nothing else, the harm is definitely overstated in terms of what you actually did. Um, I think that the worst thing you did was obviously the doxing thing, and calling it a dox is
Mm.
like I don't know. I wouldn't say I
I
don't
mean,
know
I
if
mean, it's
it
complicated. I
is a
think.
dox, but like it's like okay, somebody's salary. Like that's obviously a fucked up thing to dox or whatever. But
Sure.
like you
And
were
like I
trying to
said, I
prove a
was just, you know,
yeah, you were trying to prove a
I was
point, and in your
speaking to.
mind, I'm guessing in your mind, you wanted to prove a point. You thought, okay, whatever. What's his salary? Like, nobody's gonna be able to find where he lives or what school he goes to or whatever the fuck, right? I'm assuming that was your thought
I
process.
see Blaze has a question. Not to be uncharitable, but are you sure that this young person isn't making it all up? Like, even if it is made up, the point being that you should take every crisis as seriously as possible. And if it turns out they are lying, then there just needs to be some evidence of that. I would not just consider somebody's just making things up. I would still take it
Yeah.
seriously, and I would still offer like compassion instead of what a lot of other Discord servers have done to people who have had crises. Because I've seen it myself. They go, "We can't. Drama is against the rules. We're not professionals. We're gonna have to ban you, kick." Like, that's just gonna isolate the person more and put them into a frenzy. That's not okay. You don't need to be
Okay.
a professional to be a human being and understand that you can at least offer some sort of help.
Okay.
But of
See,
course, I didn't have enough information. I could do better. That said, I think people just need to, look into it more
so
instead of just judging.
so
I'm
Kelly
sick of
says
the
that
way
you
people
were
treat people in there.
so Kelly
Mhm.
says something that, and I feel the same way. Saying that you're sticking true to your character, but that you were just lacking self-preservation. I couldn't agree more, to be honest. With like the whole situation involving the
I just feel
16-year-old.
like I'll put myself on the front if that means so. But yeah, I think it is
Yeah,
true that if
it's
the
like
bathroom
what?
games, I should be more
You,
careful.
well, and you weren't like a huge public figure either. You were just some random person on Discord, right? So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, the five people that know about me, like you're not gonna be thinking, oh, what if this looks bad optically, right? Like that's not gonna be like that's such a YouTuber way of thinking.
At
Like,
the
what are the
time,
optics
yeah.
of this,
Uh,
right? Like, no normal person is constantly worrying about optics. Oh, what are the optics of this? Right? That's why a lot of YouTubers sound like extremely insane and detached from reality whenever they're like hyper
and that's so
fixated on
true.
optics.
Because I'll
It's
tell
like
you
what?
this much: at the end of the day, I go outside. Nobody knows who the fuck I am or anybody else on YouTube and what drama is on attached to me. That's the
Yeah.
thing. There's only
Well,
a small percentage online as a whole, and then there's a small percentage on YouTube. Like, in terms of going out in
yeah.
public, most people don't care.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody told me straight up, it's like, oh, everybody's got their own fucking opinion on YouTube. They're just whatever.
For sure. So,
Like,
I
that's how
think
people think of people on YouTube. They don't care,
yeah,
you know.
I think that a lot of people have been trying to paint you as like some sort of evil master manipulator liar. I just don't see it. I like when initially heard about, oh, there's this crazy unhinged Discord moderator that doxed Tipster, I was like, holy shit, like, oh my god, they found his address and shit like that. And his full name and all this like information about him. That's fucked up. Like that was my
Yeah, but I
initial
didn't
thought
show that.
process.
That's not what I'm that's not showing his address and his name. That is fucked up. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah,
obviously,
that's
don't
not what
give that
happened. Like,
kind of info.
obviously, what you
No,
did was
no.
still wrong, but like, when
Yeah.
I found out, like, oh, it was just a salary. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little underwhelmed. I'm like, oh, like that's still fucked up. Like that's still extremely bad, but like, that's not unforgivable, right?
Mm. I mean, it was dumb, and I didn't
It
know it
was
would go that
dumb
far.
and it was definitely immoral, but
It was a stupid shit video,
yeah,
and it shouldn't have gotten the attention it got. Just saying.
well,
I know you're gonna say it. It would have. It's gonna happen if
it
it's
was
gonna happen.
inevitable. Any content. Here's the thing: I'm content creator brained, so I
I
can
wasn't
see a
thinking.
video like that, and I know for certain, like, yeah, people are gonna find that shit. Like, some
Mm,
YouTuber is gonna talk about it, right? This is content that a YouTuber is gonna talk about, right? Um,
yeah.
yeah. I don't,
Again, I didn't
I
think of it
don't
that
see
way.
it happening with this live stream, simply because the whole Nico nerd with versus tipster drama kind of died down a little bit. So hopefully this doesn't. I'm just hoping that this is like something that if like, because from what I understand, like you haven't done anything like career ruining, I don't think, or that deserves or warrants that. So if at any point anyone tries to bring up, like if at any point people try to like bring up old shit, like let's say you become a content creator, I'm hoping this can be something that you can point to, like this interview, like, okay, here's the actual situation, link to the Femyoz interview. I'm hoping that this can serve for that, because I think you're innocent for the most part.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know if I'll go further with this. I just kind of want to
You're lagging a little bit.
maybe if it happens. Oh,
you were lagging.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Oh. Yeah, I was saying I don't know if I'll go further with that. I just wanted to like talk about a bit.
That's
but
valid.
yeah, it's just a shit show on him at this point. There's enough people commenting on him. I don't feel like I have to say anymore.
You know what? That's valid. I've sort of felt the same way. It's like, rather than making videos about him, like I'd rather just like briefly mention him, just like in the context of a joke. Just because a lot of people that watch me are like pretty familiar with commentary people. Though there are some people that have found me from my algorithm maxing streams, where it's like I'll briefly mention them, and then they're like, oh yeah, I actually found out about lyrics through you. And it's like, oh damn, that's pretty epic.
That's funny.
But yeah, I guess oh, Kelly has a good question. How do you feel, like, after all of this? Like, how are you mentally?
I did have to take a little bit of pause because I was shaken by the whole fiasco. Yeah. But like, I know very well I can just mentally compartmentalize it, because yeah, I can go out and nobody cares. The world's fine.
Correct.
Other than a few other things, but you know.
I believe that this is all gonna blow over, right? I think that that's what's gonna happen. And you know, I'm not sure if content creation is something that you have a passion for. I know it's something that I have a passion for. That's why I do it so often. Even this stream is not like something that performs super well, right? We're doing this in front of 11 of our closest friends and family. Okay, it's a very small stream, because most a broader audience doesn't give a shit about any of this, right? This is very niche internet drama, right? I'm making this just because I want to, right? Is content creation something you have a passion for at all? I'm not sure.
Not really. I just kind of wanted to talk about some issues, maybe play some games. I don't know, just like side
just
things.
For fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know, whatever comes up, maybe. Wanted to get into commentary somewhat, but I don't think I want to make it like a bigger thing, for sure.
Right, just like as like a side hustle, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Just a passion project, if you will.
Yeah.
I guess my recommendation to you would be, rather than, I guess, trying to, I don't know, force yourself to be in whatever niche or community, I guess just do your own thing if you want to pursue content creation. That's what I've learned. Showing up on other people's channels. Yeah, showing up on other people's channels only gets you so far, especially if they have a negative opinion of you. I would not rely on trying to I don't know, become like a commentator. I think that a lot of them have made up their mind about you already. Most of them don't like me either. Just for reference, I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but they're not big fans of the Femyoz YouTube channel.
I don't think it's an issue if they dislike me or anything. I just think, you know, they don't have to like me for me to do what I want.
You said that you were considering becoming a commentary person.
Maybe. I haven't really gotten deep into that, but
I think that if you
I just
and
kind of
this
wanted
is
to naturally come up.
yeah. Well, if that's something you're interested in doing, like I can give you advice on that. Um, just copy me, I guess. Just copy whatever I'm doing. All right. We'll make a niche little
Okay.
community on the internet. I'm literally trans femme leftist destiny. Okay. I'm doing my own thing. I'm creating an entire subgenre of content on the internet. I'm a
Oh,
I'm
that's
a
cool.
I'm a
Oh,
YouTube
okay,
pioneer with 11 concurrents.
sure.
You know. Um.
Yeah.
One day I'll make it big, I swear. Don't you worry.
All right.
But I guess honored to be one of those 11. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I found out about you through the short streams. Hell yeah, dude. Dude, everybody found me from the short streams, but very few of them are sticking around for the
I think just
Nico
more
Nerd
people
interview
are
streams.
scrolling through those shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
either way, hey, I'm one of that. Hell yeah. I'm sticking around. Hell yeah. Dude, we'd be in front of like 4 concurrents or something. If
Hey.
otherwise, Femyoz will never get rid of me. I'm a sycophant. Hell yeah, dude. Been catching up. Real. Let's go. Yeah, that's the thing. Is in terms of I don't know. Um,
Mm.
like obviously you have like a very amateur setup. Um, you
Well,
don't even
yeah.
have the 16:9 aspect ratio.
Oh, I might have to fix that one. Yeah. I think somebody told me about that before, and I think it's just the output. I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably. Have you
It's
ever
it's yeah.
have you ever considered streaming?
I have been streaming a bit, but I just can't keep up with it like daily.
You can't keep up with it daily? And what's
Yeah,
stopping you from doing that daily grind?
a lot, like health wise.
Health-wise? Fair enough. Is it like a mental health thing or what?
Both.
Both
I
physical and
have
mental? Is it like
Yeah. I mean, there's
is it
enough problems that give me fatigue in that, so it makes it difficult.
so it's like a fatigue thing? That's valid, I guess. That's valid.
And then, I mean, when it was nice today, I wanted to go out.
No, I get that. I get that.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I've always been somebody who's like passionate for content creation. And like I've always wanted to be one of those YouTubers that's like got a massive platform and then like helps other content creators grow their channels and like helps them make content and shit. Are we
Let's
doing
see where
another
it
stream?
goes.
Are we doing another stream after the interview? We might.